Welcome back to another cheapo multimeter review. Actually, in this case, it is a cheapo LCR meter review. That's right, it's the BM4070. Let's take a look. Every bench needs an LCR meter, and this is definitely on your short. This meter is priced great for an LCR meter. Got it off of the web for, get ready for this, 29 bucks Canadian. Insane, insane. But you know what? I'm not complaining. So when you spend such a little amount of money on such an important tool, instrument, is it any good? Well, that's what we're here for. Dang it, that's what we're here for, and that's what we're going to find out today. Is this cheap BM4070 LCR tester any good? We're going to put it right up against a couple of the big boys, and we're going to find out. 4070 shipped really nicely, actually. This was ordered off of Amazon, and it came in a really good rugged box. Now on the box it says digital multimeter. It doesn't say LCR tester, but that's okay. Hey, you got the pictures right. In the box, yes, we got a few goodies. We got a 9-volt battery. Now when it comes to test leads and LCR meters, it's usually really important. I'm still not sure if I'm going to be using these test leads for today's test. I'm deciding. I really should, shouldn't I? Okay, you know what? Made up my mind. I'll use them. And you get a very nice case. You know, when you get cases with meters, you just can't complain. Hey, always nice to have a place to call home. Finally, instruction manual. More like a spec sheet. And yeah, let's take a look at those specs. First impressions of the meter, really, really nicely done. For an inexpensive multimeter, aka LCR tester, this one feels actually very well made. It's very sturdy, aka solid, and they didn't just rush this out the door. I could see they spent some time, some attention to detail here. The boot itself is on there really, really nicely. And all in all, the way they've done the decaling, the buttons, I mean, it just, you know, there's some quality here. Even though it's an inexpensive meter, they have done their best to make it feel more expensive. Now, one of the neat things about this particular meter is the fact that the display is a tiltable display. You don't see that every day. And by tiltable, I mean there is a button here on the back of the meter, and you just press on that button, and voila, that display will start to tilt, and it goes up to almost 90 degrees, not quite, but definitely tilts high enough. Now, unfortunately, the meter does not ship with a tilt stand, so you really have no choice but to utilize the foldable display when you're using this LCR tester. Now, if you want to forsake that tilt display and use it like this, definitely still usable, but you're going to find it a little awkward at times to see those readings. So I prefer utilizing the tilt display, and I usually keep it up at that maximum angle. For me, it just seems to work. Now, the really nice feature with the 4070 is the fact that you've got this zero adjust here, and it is quite easy to utilize, and it seems to be quite accurate overall. So once again, having that zero adjust on board is a really nice feature. I've decided to bring in one more meter for this review. It's that big Maztec, the 5308 LCR tester. Yeah, so this is going to make it pretty well even Steven. It's going to give a good overall outlook on how good this little 4070 can keep up with the big boys. Alrighty, it's time to put that popcorn on, get a couple of cool drinks, and let's have some testing fun. That's probably just a little bit too much fun. Alright, so let's get started here. On the left, we have the Maztec MS5308 LCR tester. In the middle, the star of the show, the BM4070. And on the right, I really like this guy. This is the X-Tech LCR Meter 380193. Been around for a while. This one is actually brand new, but this particular product has been out probably for at least 7, 8, maybe even 10 years. Obviously it's revised, but yeah, nonetheless, it's a really nice meter. Let's take a look price-wise quickly. On the left, this guy is going for around $200 to $250 US. Same with the X-Tech, anywhere from $180 to $200 US. And in the middle, I paid 29 Canadian, so around $24 US. So literally, the guy in the middle, the star of the show, is 1/10 the price of the meters surrounding it. So very cool. 4.3 nanofarad capacitor here, and let's get started with the 4070, shall we? I'm going to use those terminal slots here, and when you're using an LCR meter, if you can, it is always better to use the terminal slots as opposed to the leads, because you're always introducing stray capacitance and other sort of issues into the test. So if possible, always use those terminal inputs. All right, so we're sitting at 4.29. I'm going to put that on data hold. We're going to try it now with the Maztec on the left. Remember, this is rated at 4.3, so that 4070 was spot on. And let's see what we have with the Maztec. Should be looking 4.3, and it's pretty close, 4.189. Let's hold that reading. And then we're going to do the same with the X-Tech. Here we go. And we're in inductance mode, so we got it. Put it to capacitance. 4.21, so I will put that on hold as well. So obviously both of the Maztec and the X-Tech are auto ranging. Bevy of features with both of these meters. You can change frequencies, you can do everything. I'm using the Kelvin leads here for the Maztec. It ships with excellent, once again, extremely accurate, and a really nice quality product. That being said, hey, 4.2, 4.2, 4.1, pretty darn close. Next up, we've got an inductor. This is 68 microhenries, and let's start off with the Maztec on the left. $66 microhenries, 67. Excellent. Now we will try the 4070 in the middle, and we're in microhenry is what we want. So being a non-auto ranging, we're going to switch it, and we'll put it to 200 microhenries. There we go. And we are in light. Yeah. Now, one thing you notice right away is that the 4070 is fast. Yeah, auto ranging, non-auto ranging, but fast. 70.1 is what we've got. Let's try the X-Tech now. Want to see anything close to 68 microhenry? Survey says we're not in inductance. There we go. And 63. So let's put that on hold. Excellent. So yeah, once again, pretty close. In this case, I would give it to the Maztec or the 4070. Good stuff. Now, what do you think of the display? If you look at the Maztec, it is a pretty big display. Yeah, I like it. And the backlight as well is really nice. The backlight only stays on for about 45 seconds or so, but very easy on the eyes. Now, I have to say that in terms of the overall look of the display, the 4070 is not bad. It's bold, it's contrasty, but there is no backlight, let's not forget. And that, you know, all things said and done, it's pretty decent. The X-Tech on the right, also a dual display. Both the Maztec and the X-Tech are dual display. As you can see, it is a smaller, though very clean looking font, very crisp. I really do like this display. It just works for me as well. But yeah, if you prefer a bigger display, then you'd probably be looking more along those guys. Next up, we have another tiny little capacitor here. This is rated 10%. It is a 47 nanofarad. Let's see what Mr. Maztec has to say about that. 51. Excellent. Now we will try it. 4070. I gotta say, these terminal inputs on the 47 are really nice. Really, really nice. And we have to go back into the proper mode. Want to see something close to 47, and wow, very close to the Maztec. 51.9 nanofarad. Finally, we will put it into the X-Tech, and pretty well they are all neck in neck. 51, 51, and 51. All right, last component we're going to test is this little capacitor. It's around 220 picofarad. Starting off with the Maztec. 220. Spot on. 208. 208 picofarad for the 4070. And 219.6 picofarad for the X-Tech, so almost identical to the Maztec. Yeah, and they're all at the same frequency, all sitting at 1 kilohertz, and I'm pretty sure at this point that the 4070 frequency is 1 kilohertz. Now, you cannot change the frequency on this LCR tester, but yeah, there you go. So overall impression in terms of the actual testing, hey, I gotta say, I am impressed. For $29 Canadian meter, wow, we're talking 24, 25 bucks US. It is keeping up with the big boys that cost 10 times as much. And as well, the display is very easy on the eyes. It does not have that backlight. The terminal inputs, I like, very, very nice. They have a really good solid inlay, so when you do put a component in there, you don't have to push too hard. It sits in there really nicely. It doesn't get loose. And, you know, even the selector switch has a really nice tactile feel. I don't have a lot of negative things so far to say about this 4070, which really surprises me. I thought this thing would be a bag of crap, but in fact, it is not. Next up, we're going to take a look at the diode mode. That's right, the 4070 also does diodes. Yes, you can test diodes, LEDs. Excellent. What a neat little feature to throw into an LCR meter. Let's check it out. I've got a standard diode right here. And forward voltage drop, looking good. All right, here we go with LEDs. Let's see how well it does. Starting off with the green LED. And it is lit ever so barely, and look at that forward voltage drop. Next to the yellow, same thing. Here comes the red, no worries there. And we do have that forward voltage drop as well. Onto the blue. We have light, it's lighting up the blue, but we're not getting that indicator of the drop. Finally, the white LED, it also lights it up, and we are not getting that forward voltage drop. Hey, 5 out of 5 in terms of illumination, 3 out of 5 in terms of lighting them up. Not bad for an LCR meter. 3.2 volts, the output voltage in diode mode. 4070. Hey, good stuff. Taking a look at the inside, I gotta tell you, this LCR meter keeps on surprising. What isn't a surprise, unfortunately, is the back. Yeah, now there is no shielding. Now, it is an LCR meter. I'm still with the camp that shielding is good no matter what kind of meter, because you never want to introduce any third-party noise. But anyway, LCR meter and no shielding. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Look at that, guys. Hey, what do you notice? Yeah, we've got a daughter board on the main PCB. So not one, but 2 PCBs. I was not expecting. Of course, there is no current with this meter, so we don't have any current shunt or any of that sort of input protection. We do, however, have a diode clamp right down there. And yeah, this daughter board still really, really impresses me. This case is a hybrid. As you can see, there is a outlook here for a speaker piezo. So this is probably being utilized in more than one prototype. In this case, being an LCR meter, we do not need that continuity. So those jack inputs are in there solid, nicely done. No worry about those going anywhere anytime soon. Something else worth mentioning is the PCB itself is nice and thick, better than thin. Traces move better, faster, and overall it's just higher quality. Definitely a new meter. Here we have the fab date of March 7th, 2018. Unfortunately, those screws go directly into plastic, no brass insert. So if you take this apart, which you really shouldn't have to, because the area where you put that battery, as you can see, has a nice brass insert, and really there should be no need to open up that case. Not too bad. Check this out. We have 9 trim pots over here, and it looks like you can do some easier calibration. Here we've got the 2 millihenry range, and this is for the 200 Henry range. Let me just zoom in a little. Microhenry range, and up a notch here we've got the 20 millihenry to 200 millihenry, 200 picofarad, 2 to 20 henries. So yeah, definitely it looks like we do have some user serviceability here as well, which is really kind of neat considering the price point. Over at the top we have a dual op amp, that's the LM358, and over there is the MC14066B, a quad analog switch. Okay, let's take off that daughter board and go in a little bit further, shall we? Okay, so there was 4 tiny Phillips screws holding that in, and we're just gonna gently take it out. Come on, baby. There we go. And here we are. So there on the opposite side, we have that rotary selector switch, and it is definitely greased. Very nicely done with the greasing on the rotary selector tracks, and they definitely look nice and high quality. Rotary selector switch is in there, nice and solid, nicely done. All in all, I have to say, so far, I am really impressed. Over here, we're looking at the MC14051B. That is a 2-channel analog multi. And right beside that, we have a low-power JFET dual op amp, the TL06. Here we have the main IC, which unfortunately is cobbed. 9-volt battery housing over here with a couple of reverse protection diodes. Yeah, not a big fan of these types of 9-volt clips. They tend to wear and tear pretty easily over time. But hey, concerning the price point, I'll take it. Underneath here, we've got the clip mechanism for the display. You can see when you press that button, it just releases that latch. Closing thoughts in the SZBJ BM4070 digital LCR meter. Hey, I like it. I like it a lot. Now, it doesn't do ESR, but that's okay because everything else it does, and it does it really well. Heck, it even does diode. And remember the price point, everybody. We're talking like less than 30 bucks Canadian is what I paid for this. So it is a steal of a deal. It went right up against a couple of LCR testers that are 10 times the price. Yeah, the more functionality, but hey, if you want a good basic LCR tester, this one is definitely... Now, if you have one of these basic capacitance meters, that's okay, but you know what? You can take it up a notch. Hey, I paid twice as much for this guy as I did this, and this is not an LCR meter. It strictly does capacitance. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say other than this is a really, really nice buy. Quality inside and out. It really feels nice. It's actually a little bit on the heavy side. Good quality PCB, really nice and clean. You saw that they did on the inside. Very nicely done. And there was definitely some attention. Too bad it doesn't have a tilt stand. That is the one big thing. Boy, it would have been so nice to have a tilt stand. This would have just... You're in the market for an LCR tester and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money and ESR is not important, then definitely get the BM4070. The BM4070 gets a solid 4.5 out of 5 stars. Hey, that is awesome, awesome in Cheapo land. Thanks for watching this review, everybody. And don't forget, coming up at the end of the month, that's right, on Hallows Eve, October 31st, my beautiful lab assistant and myself will be doing a special Halloween multimeter review. It should be, well, creepy. Let's not hope too creepy, but anyway. Till the next time, keep on testing.